Yes, my Straight Talk family, when you hear that theme song, Keep Moving On, then you know it's time for me to bid you a very pleasant night, my Straight Talk family, wherever you are in St. Kitts and or Nevis. As a matter of fact, wherever you are in the entire Caribbean region, because we span the world, including the Caribbean. Time for me to say good night and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. For those of you as well on the World Wide Web, in particular the Kittitian and Liberian diaspora, I say greetings to all those who are logged on to zizonline.com. And those of you on social media, remember, Straight Talk is heard on Facebook. All you have to do is you enter Straight Talk with Ian Patches Liburd. Likewise on YouTube. So just share this. Just share this with your friends. Share the feed so that they know that Straight Talk is on. So to my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and Liberian diaspora, I say greetings. There's some of you I know are in Africa. There's some of you in Asia. There's some of you in Europe. And there are quite a lot of you right here in North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning. And I will also say good evening. Because one of such greetings is applicable to the region in which you find yourselves. And there are first-timers. I'll be surprised if there are no first-timers. We usually have first-timers. And to them, I want to bid you welcome, a special welcome as well, and to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free discussion, promotes the interests of free discussion on all issues of national interest. Some of them are technological, some of them are social, some of them are economic issues. There are some of them that are environmental, and I saw you'll be surprised if some of the interests are not political issues. And for the first time as well, Straight Talk is an inclusive, it is a participative, I should say, program. By that I mean, we include your calls and your emails. And my Straight Talk family, the numbers, if you're so mind to call, are 465-2555 or 7182772916. Again, 465-255 and or 718-577-2916. And my Straight Dog family, again, we haven't communicated in this way since the 20th of December last year, just before Christmas. Just before Christmas, that's a long time. I did have an opportunity to wish you a happy Christmas. And this is my first opportunity to wish you a happy, productive, and of course, a healthy New Year. It's the New Year's, and I particularly left the healthy one for the last. This is our first edition for the New Year, and I greet you tonight on the 10th of January in the year of our Lord 2022. I will place emphasis, as said, on healthy, because since we last communicated through this forum, so many things have happened in the lives of many people that we know, and more so in our very own lives. And this demands, I believe, that we should take stock. We should take an inventory of all the things happening around us and within us. Many of our friends and families, and our families of our friends, for example, have gone to the great beyond. And we ask ourselves, I'm sure sometimes, how this happened, and why this happened. But we can concur that only God knows. He knows the season, and He knows the reason. Tonight I think of the passing of Randolph Edmead, former Director of Planning and Environment, former Secretary of the Development Control and Planning Board as well, for ages, who has transitioned to another life. And we extend condolences to his wife, children, and entire family. I think of Mr. Alexis Knight as well, a quiet giant from across Lozak Road in East Bastia, who I fondly remember since an encounter I had with him and his wife when I canvassed for elected office back in 2012 or thereabout. I recall they invited me into the sanctity of their home. As a small boy, we call that home, their home then, the administrator's house. How many of us remember that? And I was surprised of how much they knew about patches in the first place. But the advice they imparted to me was indispensable, I hasten to add. Advice about government, how it works, him being a former civil servant, advice about life in general in St. Kitts and Nevis. And of course, we had to talk about music because he was a musician. I therefore extend condolences to his entire family who are mourning his loss, in particular his children. Patrick, I haven't seen Patrick for a long time. Kay, who he and I worked together at Scasco. Freddie, Jean, we worked together at agriculture when I was PS back then. Stanley, and of course their children and their entire family. I think as well of the passing of former Constable of Police, McCoy. We call him several names. Originally from Keon, who lived in New Pond site. We call him, for example, Pleple Police. Shh, don't ask me why. I think also of DJ Buski of Unstoppable Sounds from Macbeth, a close friend of my departed son Cheesy of of demolition sounds. And there are more of them. A matter of fact, I can think of Ben Francis, I should add, who I understand passed on yesterday. I extend condolences to his family as well, and in particular his son, Reg Francis Reddy. And I'm almost certain that there are many more of whom I made no mention, as I may not have heard of them. But to all those who have lost loved ones, I extend profound sympathy to all of you. And you know, I can say anything, we can say anything, condolences and so on, and we try to comfort them. But the truth is, who feels it knows it, according to Jimmy Cliff. But we can all say that death is a process. The world also lost someone who was described once as a moral voice of equality. That is Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who, while he was celebrating on New Year's Day, the people of South Africa buried this illustrious son of its soil, who impacted so many lives all over the world. And many praise this Nobel laureate, Desmond Tutu, Archbishop Tutu, in life, and continue to praise him even after his death. I can also cite many famous quotes from Archbishop Tutu, as there are a plethora of inspirational ones. My straight dog family, inspirational quotes that readily come to mind. And tonight, I think of this one, which goes like this. It says, in our fragile and crowded world, we can survive only together. We can be truly free, ultimately together. We can be humanly free only together. I think that goes, we can be human. I think that should say only together. And I wanted to use that quotation as my point of departure tonight. Because when we look at mainstream media around the world for the past 2 years and more, the main topic of discussion continues to be the coronavirus. The main topic as we speak. So much we have learned about the coronavirus-induced pandemic. Yet it seems as though there is so much that we still have to learn. We have heard so much about the science. We have heard so much from Dr. Fauci. We have heard from Dr. Rochelle Walensky, I think, the CDC director. We have heard from Dr. Ghebreyesus of the World Health Organization. We have heard from our own Dr. Etienne from the PAHO, the Pan American Health Organization. And we have heard from our own Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Hazel Laws, and our Medical Chief of Staff, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson. We looked as well to the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine for facts, and of course, we look to Straight Up to bring you the facts as well. And as we embark upon this new year, we must ask ourselves, where are we as a country? Where are we as an economy? And where are we as a people? These are some pertinent questions, my Straight Up family. that deserve constructive actions or answers. They deserve constructive answers. And when we look around, all around us, the raging debate continues to be about vaccine mandates and about our fundamental rights as a people. But what have we learned? What have we learned as a people? What have we learned as individuals? Here at the United Nations, in New York, for example, there's discussion about going back to virtual communications in light of this Omicron spike or surge in this variant. We learned of the US Supreme Court hearing of this vaccine mandate that through an executive order, President executive order, all federal workers and companies that employ over 100 workers had to be vaccinated. The US Supreme Court heard that case. We have not, or there has not been a ruling as far as I know up now. In Australia, very interesting, you must have followed as well the issue as it relates to the then expulsion of the 9-time crown Australian Open champion, Djokovic. And just today, the Australian court ruled this.
To the developing story that's had the world hooked, Novak Djokovic has won his case against the Australian government and will be released from detention immediately. His lawyers today successfully challenged the cancellation of his visa. He's now entitled to remain in the country to defend his Australian Open title. And the Dean of Law at the ACU, Professor Patrick Kayser, was following today's proceedings closely, and he joins us now. Patrick, were you surprised by this outcome?
Yes, look, I don't agree with Mr Djokovic's stance on vaccination, but I thought that his legal submissions in the case were very strong.
Obviously, this is embarrassing for the federal government, and the Immigration Minister, Alex Hawke, does have some discretionary powers. What can the government do now?
What can the government do? The court has ruled. You recall sometime last year in Antigua, for example, Prime Minister Brown was firm. He was firm and pointed to the irresponsible behavior of Antiguans and Barbudans, and he said this.
And I want to say to those political elements who continue to use subterfuge and to undermine the system, you need to stand down. You need to join in the fight. COVID is the most significant threat facing the Caribbean region at this time. Not climate change, COVID. And I want to issue a clarion call to the Caribbean people. We can do better. We have 99% literacy in the Caribbean region. We're among the most vulnerable people in the world. Part of our vulnerability has to do with our ancestry, what happened to us during colonialism and slavery.
And that was Prime Minister Brown. And Prime Minister Gaston Brown said the time had come to mandate.
Vaccinations are not new. If we didn't have vaccinations during the last century, many of us would have had debilitating disease. Many of us would have died. My dear colleagues, this is a very serious issue. I have signaled to the people of Antigua and Barbuda months ago that if we have to make vaccinations mandatory in this country, we'll do it.
Yes, that was a resolute Prime Minister Brown. Over there in Barbados, divided, the vision of the people caused by COVID and other issues, derivative issues I call them, as relates to the economy. And Prime Minister May Mockley has taken the bull by the horn. With 18 months remaining in her term, she has decided to go back to the people.
I've decided that it would be in the interest of Barbados, our country, our home, that we recalibrate as a people behind one government and one leader. And let me say, whoever emerges as that leader, I will support. I will do my utmost to promote the interests of Barbados and Barbadians in all that I say and do, as I've done in all of my public career, and will continue to do until the Lord takes my breath. I would like to ask this of every Barbadian tonight. Our country demands it of us, and our people deserve it from us. We are currently divided. We are currently drifting philosophically and ideologically on quite a few things. I need for us to unite around a common cause. Unite behind a single government, unite behind a single leader. And let us unite to fight the threats to our safety, our development, and our prosperity. Accordingly, my friends, I earlier this evening met with Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, and advised that she dissolve the current Barbados Parliament with immediate effect.
With immediate effect, Prime Minister Mayor Motley is going back to the people. Meantime, in St. Kitts and Nevis, we are aware some private companies terminated unvaxxed workers. And we can ask ourselves as we reflect, what could they have done differently, if anything at all? Was there an option to mandatory vaccination? This too is a pertinent question, because some people lost their jobs and they're still out of work. Look at what's happening now as we try to rebuild our economy. Look what's happening with our schools. They have deferred or postponed the full in-person classes, or in-person classes for the entire school, I should say. Because what's happening in the civil service in terms of the rotations there. Look at what's happened, or is happening, as I said, with our tourism. A CEO left suddenly. Another CEO appointed immediately. Many questions were asked about that. But these are some of the issues we have to discuss, and you may have other issues as well, my Straight Talk family. But the truth is, we have a deep political division in St. Kitts and Nevis. How can we unite Kittitians and divisions? Do we want to unite Kittitians and divisions? I believe we'll agree that the team unity government has managed the COVID situation as well as any government could have. It was a dangerous enemy that brought the world to a standstill. And we ask ourselves, what else can or could have been done then? What else we can do now? Because my Straight Dog family, there is the view that we have to exist with COVID. And look at the situation in St. Kitts and Nevis. The reality is, when we last had a discussion just a few weeks ago, our last congregation, our last program was on the 20th of December. That's just about 2 weeks ago. I remember the figures then as it relates to positive cases. Over 2,808. That was the figure back then. The total number of cases today is 4,260. That's a surge of some 1,400 cases and more, 1,408 to be exact. These are serious times for the trade dog family. But as I go to the lines and entertain your calls, I'll entertain your emails as well. Remember that we ought to be in this thing together. Omicron is around. Flu season is around. But we must bind together if we are going to get out of this. My Street Dog family, I will entertain your calls, I'll entertain your emails. Before I do, I always like to implore you. Let us respect others. And to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. And let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure, my Street Dog family, the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of doing and saying those things, let us strive to build kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 28 past the 8 o'clock hour, let us go to the lines and say, good night, caller. You do have an opportunity as well to extend your best wishes for the new year. And I want to wish you a happy, prosperous, and healthy new year, your life.
Thank you very much, Mr. Liburd. A happy new year to you and welcome back. Let me take this opportunity to say that happy new year to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. May the Lord bless you all. May the Lord shine upon you all. And continue to the protocols. We're having the same problem down here and all around the world. So it's not just you alone. What I make knows one. We all are in it together. And so let's do our best. Mr. Liburd, the topic is very good tonight, but I'm not. I'm just going to listen. But if you allow me a couple minutes, just 2 minutes, to send out some condolences. First, let me say condolences go to my classmate Melda Thomas and Spirak and the person of their son. Melda and Spirak, may the Lord continue to bless you all. Continue to stay strong. You know, sometimes we think our children is going to bury us, but we are our children. And we just want to lift up you all in the name of the Lord. I continue to pray for you all that you all will find strength and favor in Him to put away your son. Also, let me say condolences to the Knight family in Lazarus Road, to Mr. Knight, Teacher Knight, and to the rest of the family. My condolences go to you all. And condolences to all those who have lost loved ones in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And this is coming from Patricia Lewis and family. Let me say a happy heavenly birthday to my loving dad, James Wells, better known as Busu, the taxi driver. He will be 88 years today. But unfortunately, he went at a very tender age of 60. Daddy, I love you. I love you always. I miss you, but God love you best. So to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and to all my friends and my loved ones there, I love you all. Stay safe, and I'm going to do the same back here. Mr. Liburd, you take care. Stay safe. I love you. Keep warm in New York, okay? I love you. Bye.
Thank you, Patricia. I love you more, my warrior from the East. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Yes. Happy Christmas and New Year, everything you want. And happy birthday when it comes. And tomorrow is Honorable Man's birthday, and then the new one coming up, and the husband one coming up. I'm looking at this house now, but it's got this door. This door all the way into that. That's why I contact this door. And yeah, to the houses them, but I was supposed to make sure I ensure is thank you. I do ain't playing with nobody. Everybody want money. They want me money. Me 23 years money. I'm going to go there. Here's money. Don't forget to call me. I want to talk with you. I got something to tell you.
Thank you very much. That's my Labour friend. I don't know if I have your number though. But let's go back to the lines, and we do apologize for the quality of that last call. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen Nzinga. Blessed evening, my beloved African brother, and a happy, prosperous, loveful, and peaceful 2020 to my beloved brother, and to all the sisters and brothers in the Amiga and Ouali. All is well?
God has been good, my brother. I trust that all is well with you, and I wish you and your family the same.
Yes, brother. Thanks, man. Yeah, all is well, brother. All is well, brother. Hope this year, we in the African communities globally, brother, starting from Liamiga and Ouali, man, we got more unity amongst our people. We be prosperous, and we take over the economic activities where we are the majority population, beloved brother, because if we ain't got economic power along with political power, brother, we doom, beloved. But we must have that unity. Beloved, let me say this, beloved. A lot of our people die. Make the transition last year, brother. I had childhood from childhood families, family members, childhood friends, brothers, sisters will be like work together and everything, brother. They make the transition. I know we all got to go along that road someday, brother. Someday. People make the transition. But, beloved, last year, man, was just a dreadful year, beloved. Too many of sisters and brothers, man. I hope this year is different. Not as much as last year, beloved. And we got more unity, man. More unity. We got to love each other more than ever, beloved. More than ever. But, and I always said this, brother, the traitors and haters in the African race, persona non grata. You know what that means, beloved. And to those out there who don't know Latin, mean you're not welcome. No traitors welcome among us, beloved. But we need that unity among us as African peoples globally who love each other, who care about each other and want to see the advancement and the rebirth, beloved, of Pan-Africanism globally. That must be our agenda, because only Pan-Africanism can save us as African people, beloved brother. Nothing else. And I stand by that. And let me say, brother, Sister Mia Martley, man, beautiful, intelligent, Pan-Africanist sister who love people, who love her people globally, not just Africans in Barbados, beloved. And for me, Sister Mia Martley is the greatest leader in terms of head of government and planet Earth, beloved. And I stand by that. And I know she will win it. She and the Barbados Labour Party will win again. I don't know if they're going to be a total sweep, but I just wanted to win vast majority, 2/3 or whatever, so she can carry out the brilliant work that she started, brother. And when we have leaders, true leaders, like Sister Mia Martley, brother, we have to stand by them. I will stand in Dr. Harris too, but Dr. Harris got to do more when it comes to Pan-Africanism. And Dr., I always big up Dr. Harris, But the Pan-African world, Dr. Harris, this year I want to see more of that, beloved brother. And we must, by 2025, St. Kitts Nevis must become a republic. Dr. Harris, you got to get that vision. People around you too must have that Pan-African vision. Because without that, better all of us die. And Pan-Africanism must be our narrative, must be our mantra as African people. And like I say in closing, only Pan-Africanism can save us as African people. Nothing else, beloved brother. Nothing else. Brother, and I said a mouthful, so brother, continue to listen and welcome black, not back, because we now go backward, we go forward. So it's welcome black, my beloved brother, and continue the great works you've been doing, beloved brother. Brother, continue to listen.
Thank you.
Keep up the great works. Pan-Africanism our perish. One love, my beloved brother.
One love, my brother. I am happy to be black. Let's go back to the lines. It's 8:39. Call you live.
Good night, Patrick.
How are you, Mr. Politics? Good night.
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I was done with it for some days, but, I overcome that. That dangerous look around right now, the coughing, the vomiting, and all kinds of things people get. But I don't want it. I just cough, had a little headache, and some weakness. But, we know that he's a mountain man and over the bush, and the champion and the lemon and all these things, So, that is first. I want to wish you a happy new year. And wish Straight Talk a happy new year. And all those who tune into Straight Talk, especially those in the diaspora, I want to wish them a happy new year too. Because only them could make Straight Talk. And those in the Federation, conscious one in the Federation, who listen to Straight Talk and fall into Straight Talk and make the input, I just want to wish them a blessed new year too. And may God bless this Federation to move on and continue to go in the direction we're going. I believe that we're going good. No matter the circumstances and different things, as long as we put God first, everything will just overshadow. And we just ride out this time, especially in the spite of this deadly COVID. We just got to pray. That is, now, I just want to send my condolences to some family members too in the Federation. You understand? I can't call all, people like the girl earlier, all those past, and the guy Busky from that night was a DJ. I want to send my condolences to the family. And all those who lose a loved one. I just want to send my condolences to Patrick, because it ain't easy when you lose somebody who close you, whether son, your brother, your sister, your daughter, or whatever. And last year we had a tragic, serious complaint with death. And can't you go to Nabu? You just got to pray to God and pray to God for our family members, our brothers, sisters, our brother keeper, and everything. That is, because it ain't easy. Because you find the negative out there. The negative one, they're preaching, suppose they try to pray. Pray that things may come better. They spend all kind of negative things, trying to bring down the country, trying to bring down the government. Even some of those government and all, trying to bring down the government. But just, God will work it out for us in due time. That is, I just want to wish you all the best, and wish the Prime Minister all the best, he and his cabinet, continue to do what they have to do. The task force, we know that COVID is there too. We know that vote coming in and tourists going up and down the place. So people always got to stick to the protocol, wear mask, and do what you got to do. People out there will criticize and start anything. But you as the government, you got to be strong and be focused. That is very wonderful, man. God bless.
God bless you as well. my stray dog family. Even some in government trying to bring down government. That's what I heard. My stray dog family, it's 18 before the 9 o'clock hour. If you just joined me, welcome. We were looking at where we are as a country, where we are as an economy, and where we are as a people. Someone said we should become a republic. Someone said we should not only require or need political power. What is political power without economic power? That's some rational as well. But let's go back to the lines, my stray dog family. Thank you for holding, caller. You are live. Yes, caller?
Hello.
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, good evening, Patches. Happy New Year to you.
Good. Same to you, my brother, and yours.
Right. Thank you very much. And I want to say good evening to some warrior ladies who've been supporting your show. That is Annette and Janet, Jacqueline, and Miss O'Loughlin. Right, those are warrior ladies who've been making your show, making your show what it is today. And I want to also send my condolences to my adopted father and mother, Mr. and Mrs. Alexis Knight, and the passing of Mr. Knight, and all who died in the Federation and from the Federation. Brother Nabo, I like what you say. I could underline one word that you say tonight, which I like. We don't want no traitors on our team unity administration. There are many traitors around the place. They are smiling, grinning, showing you teeth. They like the unity, but behind back, they're choking you, stabbing you in the back, trying to undermine the country in every possible way they can. But old people say, one start wrong cannot end right. Some of those using the business place for people to purposely come on it to see how much propaganda they could spread about the country and the government and the Prime Minister, but it ain't gonna work. Because how they get the business? They get the business by doing wrong things with other people's blood and sweat money to start the business. That is straight talk, as far as I'm concerned, for this new year here. Straight talk will be 180 degrees straight. No bending, no swagging. And all those people who robbed the government over the past years, robbed the treasury, and they think that we forget, I ain't gonna forget about it. I'm gonna be more radical with them. They must pay back the government all what they take, illegally and fraudulently. Pay it back. So I'm gonna always root it up, Patches. I ain't playing with it. Patches, you hear this here? Let me tell you this here. Dirty lasso. The vagabond get blood money from Libya, and he get drugs money from Syria. Then he run to Nigeria for 96 million from his children mother. Then he asked me to tell him this story, why the goatee don't have no tail. I said, when they finish with you up in Sudan, they gonna bust you rear end in jail. After busting you rear end in Sudan, you got to wear maxi pads in jail. Then the whole Barabbas when Barabbas landed in London, when Barabbas landed in Gatwick at the airport up in London, he had money in his sleeve of his jacket. He was hiding from the custom. Then he asked me to tell him this story, why the goatee don't have no tail. I said, when they finish with you up in London, they're going to bust you rear end in jail. After busting you rear end in London, you got to wear maxi pads in jail. Then King Lawyer run down to Dominica, get a passport from his friend Skerritt. When Harris asked him about the passport, he bring down all guards, so he did not get it. Well, Timothy asked Willie Mosso. Willie Mosso say, ask Miss Guevara. So the three judges come to conclusion and call him a good-for-nothing damn blasted lawyer I said the three judges come to conclusion and call him a SOB damn blasted lawyer. Patches, I got one more thing to say when I come back. I'll be back.
Well, that's the mighty culture. But in Calypso, we would say that several times. Why you say? It's 13 before the 9 o'clock hour. And I want to say that I agree with something you said. That is, we're not going to support the propaganda. When you come to Straight Talk, we talk the truth. And Straight Talk will continue to push the truth to anybody who gets in the way. Caller, you are live. Thank you for holding.
Good night, how are you? Good
I am
night,
peaceful.
How are you?
I am peaceful. You?
You can hear me?
Yes, go ahead. You sound like Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Yes. The new year will last all of the year. Thank the Lord for sparing my life. New Year's greeting and God's blessing to you and your family. The best Prime Minister and his family, and to your callers. Oh, what a man. Get recognition for the good he doing. Others see and know. So why abusing him? They have to abuse until election time. Timothy Harris did not bring no vaccine or corona when they don't want to listen. So why they abusing him? On their sugar money panic factory so bad. Their New Year false talk is to work hard to get back in government. That's them. I hope number 2 and 3 minister hear them. They're telling people don't call your program. The same sabotagers who you give against you all. They give who you give things. The good you was doing. I see you on my TV. Thanks. Good night, culture and politics. I'll be back.
You know, it's very interesting, and you hear this, and you see these things. Why would someone be part of an organization and still bring down that organization? You know that happens? I remember one time I was I was headhunted, to use the term, and I gave my prospective employer, I think that's the right term, 6 months. I gave my current employer, 6 months notice, because I was moving from the Neil Walwyn to Hosford. Let me tell you the truth. And I saw Hosford who headhunted me. I will give my current employer, the Neil Walwyn, 6 months notice, and I did. But when I was about 2 months inside that 6 months, someone called me from Hosford's, working in Hosford's, and asked me if I know what I was doing. I said, what are you talking about? She said, you leaving the Neil Walwyn to come to Hosford? Hosford is not a nice place to work. I said, what? And I did not concede that I was coming to Hosford. Then she hung up. 2 days after, she called me again. And I asked her the question, how long have you been working in Hosford? She said, 19 years. I said, you working 19 years in Hosford, and Hosford is so bad? That's people. They're in this company, they're in government, the government is so bad, but they won't leave. Why don't you resign and go? Why do you want to stay in the government and you want to bring it down? Yes, I agree with you. You should move on. Caller, you're live. Thank you for holding. Yes, my dear brother. Sounds like the Bible man.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Same to you, my brother.
Why, I'm glad to hear your voice, man.
Good to hear you as well.
Yeah, You got everybody meeting me, and that's the Bible man. Why, Mr. Patrick, I have a wonderful Christmas, Patrick. And I thank you greatly. May the Lord bless you mightily in all your undertaking, Mr. Patrick. And may the Lord strengthen you and keep you in all your goings, Mr. Patrick. You understand? This is 2022.
Much,
Hello?
Yes, thank you very much, my dear brother. I I wish you the same.
Yeah. So yes, and I'm telling you tonight that is so wonderful. And I'm glad for you what you said just a little while ago. We ain't want no propaganda and straight talk. We want them to bring the propaganda machine and straight talk. So listen here. You is the host of the show. And when you see people, stop them right away and cut them off. You understand? I will back you with that. So stand still, Patches. Be strong. And have a good courageous. Stand up for 2022, Mr. Patches. Have a pleasant night. See you, bye.
Have yourself a pleasant night as well, and you take care of yourself. Yes, all right. No propaganda on Straight Talk for 2022. We're going to talk the truth. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
What is?
6 before. Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night, my dear.
Glad to hear your voice, Sean family.
Oh, how are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to hear your voice. All the best for the new year.
As well.
From Paula.
Same to you.
Yes,
okay, Paula.
And be safe. Big up Honorable Sean, the Prime Minister, and all the doctors and the team. Okay, for keeping us safe. And big up Shasha Mali.
Good.
And her husband, Matt Knight. Love you.
Love you more, Paula. You take care of yourself. Thank you for calling. Happy New Year.
Thanks to you too. And be safe.
Thanks. You be safe as well. It's 5 before 9 o'clock. Caller, you live. Yes, caller? You're live.
That's why you start me up in the back. So when he said all the people that walk and everything, they start me up in the back. And looking at me Uncle Sam, they show him kind of good face, and they start me Uncle Sam in the back too. And this how people be. They don't want to see people get through, they don't want to get it through. So God is for the Uncle Sam and me husband. We have really bought the soon, and what we have really bought the tomorrow last year, and you next year birthday. You know, all the best and successful of love. Thanks for everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let's keep focus as well on what we're discussing here tonight. And that's something we're going to do for 2022 as well, my Straight Dog family. The questions we ask, there is division in the country. That's a fact. Things are happening, but we're not going to take the propaganda and the nonsense talk. We're going to deal with the facts. Caller, it's 4 before 9. A happy new year to you, a healthy one, a prosperous one, and thank you for holding your life. Yes, caller.
Hello?
Yes, turn your equipment down, listen to your phone, and talk to the world.
Hi, good night.
Good night, my
Happy
dear.
New Year to you as well.
Thank you.
Well, I have some concerns here. One of my concerns is I would like to know why is it so difficult that when a hardworking government employer or a public hardworking employer goes to the bank and tries to get a loan to build a house or, start a business is very difficult. But yet still at the end of the day, when we have these so-called gangsters are these young men who are not working or who do not have a suitable job. You know, they go to the bank, they get X amount of money to build houses in these expensive areas. How is it these individuals are getting through with these loans? But hard-working people go to the bank telling you, decrease your money, do this, do that. When you do everything, they say it's still problems. Another thing, there's land in Senkis, there's a lot of land in Senkis. Why not put these individuals to work? If they receive the money, put them to work. There are individuals out there who lost their jobs since it's COVID. My heart goes out to them. A lot of young women, a lot of young men, they're not working. Just like these young men, they're not working, but they're receiving money. So how come people who lose their hard job to look for their children and their family, how come they can't get money too? This so-called peace initiative money going to these individuals. What happened to who I'm suffering? What happened to the hungry people and why these young men can't get up and go walk if they're receiving money?
Can I ask a question, Carl?
I would like to know, the last thing, what is going to be done in regards to these ministers disrespecting people? They are supposed to be setting example. They are supposed to be setting example. If it was a matter that the police step out of line, if it was a matter of that, things could be handled professionally. But you're not expecting ministers to be disrespecting the hard-working police them, who they have out here, working from morning till night, 4 in the morning catching Joe from their family, and they're going out swearing at them and calling them names and degrading them. That is not nice. It is not nice, and that should not be accepted. And they should thank God that it wasn't the kind of ignorant police to floor them, because then it would have been a different story. They would have quit to fire them or something. Something needs to be done because they're out of place. They need to be setting example for the country, and this is what they're doing, and they're supposed to be representing us. That ain't acceptable at all. Thank you.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question, Carla?
Sure.
I take your point. You raise 4 issues as it relates to loan, house, business, and disrespect to the police. I've seen some things on social media. I've been trying to look at it myself, you know. But in relation to the land or the loan, sorry, for housing or for business.
Yeah.
And you seem to be somebody who is employed. Have you been
employed.
Denied a loan at the bank?
I am employed, and I have tried at Development Bank, and the lady told me I need to decrease my money. She telling me I should build a small house, but yet still, there's one individual I know in particular. I know a few, but one in particular, he got his house built, he went to the bank, he got his money. He got his money.
The same bank?
From the same bank. And he built his house in one of the expensive places. And if you see the house look nice. And if you ask me if he's a government employer, the answer is no. The answer is no. If you ask
but how
me
do you know the bank
the answer
sent
is
the money
yes.
though? Can I ask a question? How do you know that the bank loaning the money?
Well, he spoke it himself.
Okay.
He spoke it himself to different individuals. So it's not one individual with the same story. So, you know, I can't be going crazy. That's the thing
Well,
about
I wish
it.
you.
And I went in there with my documents. I said, Miss, this is what I want to do. And she said, you have to decrease your money and build a smaller house. So Miss, I don't want a small house. What are you going to do with a small house? I have my family. I must go screen job. That's the nonsense. I may go back in the bank. And I don't plan to. I don't plan to because it's nonsense. As a civil servant, you're going in the bank to borrow money. An appointed individual, and that is what they tell you. So it's better retire and go sweep the road or something. It's nonsense.
But isn't there a civil service mortgage loan?
Hello?
In the bank? Isn't there a civil service?
That is what I tried to get.
And they refuse you?
She did.
Oh. Okay. Well, my heart goes out to you. I would
build a small house, and they have contractors who could build a small house. But if I work in for X amount of years and I show you I am appointed, what you going to tell me? Take this little bit here and make dough. What happened? What happened? What am I? I'm supposed to be able to work. I'm working hard. I'm supposed to be able to enjoy my money. If I want to go to the bank and take the money, I didn't take $1 million. I didn't ask for $1 million or $500,000. I did not. I didn't even close to $500,000 to begin with.
One final question. Do you believe that you could have paid the mortgage based on your salary?
Of course. Of course.
Oh, that's sad then.
Of course, because I am a very determined person and I don't like to up people. I would have built my house for me and my family and be paying that. I need to build 1 or 2 apartments to help me pay for it. And I even mentioned that to the woman. I even mentioned that to her, building an apartment. She told me, well, we have contractors who could build the house for a low amount of money. I said, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the information.
I haven't returned to any bank for any loan.
Well, I wouldn't give up though, if you say you meet the requirements.
I haven't given up, because I'm working on what I need to work on.
Okay.
I'm a hard-working young woman, and I am going to build my house with or without them. So the bank ain't going to stop me.
Okay, I wouldn't stop either, because the government has offered first-time home owners, civil servants, that facility, and you should benefit from it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I would not give up.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Thanks for telling us your story. And this is what we want. This is what we're going to do for 2022 in particular. And straight up, we're going to push the truth to anyone who is in the way. And if that lady is standing in the way, then we have to push the truth right in her face. Caller, you are live. It's 6 past 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock.
Good night.
Good night, my dear.
Welcome back, welcome back.
Good to be back, my dear. Good to be black, according to my brother.
Only in St. Christopher this thing happening. I never know how to live to see the day. When bad man getting good money, and who ain't bad can't get the money. Only in St. Christopher, I got a video right on my phone, person showing you they get the money from Development Bank. My gosh, really bad man run our country. I think it's good people supposed to run this country, not bad man. Up to the day we're hearing somebody get $50,000, bad man. And then I walk then, yeah, the lady says she appointed, they're not appointed no way. Right? And they get away, and they ain't gonna pay it back, That's the thing about the matter. I don't know who running this country. We see it's ants and cockroach and everybody else running the country.
Sorry to interrupt you.
I'm afraid who?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. The lady made her point. What is your point tonight?
My point, the bad man running the country. Is them getting the big money?
You said that 3 times.
I go down there tomorrow and get a loan. And I got a business for 21
but you
years.
said that 3 times.
I can't give that some of the ladies. I tried that already too. And I didn't get
yeah,
you
but,
on.
yeah, but,
hear them getting money.
okay. Yeah, but you said that 3 or 4 times. Do you have anything else to say?
No, man. Only bad man. Only St. Christopher. Bad man running the country.
Okay. Thanks for your call. If there's nothing else to add, we'll take this other caller. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. And that's what Straight Talk is all about.
Yeah, you ready for me now?
Have you say? Talk the truth.
You ready for me, Patrick?
Yes, caller.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this your last call.
This is my last call, you know. It's only 2 caller, man.
Thank you.
Right, I understand a long time. I'm going to tell you something. Okay. You must learn to interject. Don't let people finish, and when they're done, and you say, can I ask you a question? And they say, no, I don't want to hear from you, and I hang up the phone for you.
Yeah, but leave that to you. Leave that to me. You leave that to me. You leave that to me.
If
you have 2 minutes trying to use your time.
I would remind you to put a good telephone in the barrel. So that the person who calling you with a muffled phone, they could have speak clearly that people could understand. But I've been saying this here for the longest while. A lot of people present the false resume to the government to get work. And the resume looks so pretty and nice that without too checking on it, they get the job. But then, like Nabu said, they are hypocrites. They only present that there to get the job. And from the moment they get the job, they go to foolishness. What they do, those people who work hard to help to put the government into office, they're not studying the people them who help and who really have a good use for money. They're going and helping their friend and family. And all this kind of foolishness they've been doing behind the government ministers' back, and then the government ministers getting the blame. But them people, them crooked people who present to the government that they're good people and they're genuine and sincere, but not so you go. Them days who messing up the country and giving people all kind of nonsense to accuse the government. But the ministers know nothing about a lot of things what people are doing. And the last thing I want to know, and they're going, we want to know when the government going to get back the money that was paid to PEP workers in Miami. And we don't have nobody in Miami cutting the grass. And the government PEP money was sent to Florida to PEP people up there. So we want to know when the government going to retrieve all them kind of money. Have a good night, Patches. Thank you very much. I'm going to listen for the rest.
Have a good night. Have a good night, my Straight Talk family. If you have just joined me, we're still looking at the situation in St. Kitts and Nevis. In terms of what's happening with the Omicron variant and so on. And we're looking at where we are as a country, where we are as an economy, and where we are as a people. Education, tourism. We've heard, for example, of the sudden departure of the CEO of the SKT, I think it's called. We have this sudden appointment of someone from the Bahamas. And I'm not trying to be insular, but aren't there people from St. Kitts and Nevis who are capable of performing that function? We've been in tourism for lots of years. Caller, you're alive. Thank you for holding. That's something I'm asking as well. Caller, you're alive.
Hello, good night, Mr. Patches.
Good night, sir.
Yes, just calling in for the first time. You know, I listen to your show all the time, every time you're on, but it's just one thing I can't take on is that, you know, these elder folks, really and truly, Patches, the show is for everybody, yes. But this is time that, you know, people are supposed to talk reality, not just talking things because, you know, you support the government. People are supposed to talk reality. You understand? These are facts. The lady that made a statement about going to the bank, she hit some real facts. Some real facts. And we got to understand that people have families. You understand, Patches? People have families. And these elder guys who talking, you know, They ain't supportive of younger people who trying to, raise the standard. They're bringing down the younger people who trying to get ahead. They ain't talking nothing constructive. Nothing constructive. Sometimes the show just going one way. Nothing constructive because they support the government. They just want to talk one thing. It's like the government never did nothing wrong. We got to support, even though we support the government patches, we got to say, call a spade a spade. But it's a good show.
I agree with you.
We got to call a spade patches. When we see wrong, we see
I am in total
wrong. Yeah.
I'm in total agreement with you.
Yes, because
to us human.
We cannot be trying to take in a hot spot off the stove and tell him it is right. We have to call a spade a spade. That is how we're going to get justice. And black people have to stand up for their rights and stop that people tugging and putting us on the ground. You understand? Otherwise, we ain't getting away. We just keeping these shows, and we ain't getting away. We just keeping these shows. We look like fools. And the government, just sitting back and laughing. So we got to make them see that we need justice. We need justice. Don't care who in. It can be PAM, Labour, Unity, UNEP, CCMPL. We just need justice. Whoever go in. We cannot sit down and have them, have us back and forth like two men. We got to show them that we need justice. And if we stand for something, we're going to fall for nothing.
What do you think about the lies, though? The lies and propaganda?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I agree with you, Patrick. Yeah, man, we can't just sit back and just, because we support a government, it's like the government never did nothing wrong. We are all a human. We come short of our glory, man. We fall short. We are all a human. And we have to call a spade and stop. These elder guys got to stop just calling in and just praising the government like they do everything right.
Got your point, my brother, and it's well taken. I hope this won't be your last call.
No, I will listen and call back.
And perhaps we need more callers like you who will call a spade a spade.
Yes, man.
I'm in total agreement with you.
Yes.
Thank
That's how
you.
they will do better.
And
That's how they will do better. When you call in, when you call in and you just praising them, they don't care what they do to you. They keep sinking you in the sand and they don't give a damn. They just keep sinking you because they figure whether they do good or bad, they just get in praise. So from they know they're doing wrong, they're gonna pull their socks up.
Got you, my brother.
Yeah, we gotta be men and not kids, man. We gotta be men. And just put the childish thing away and just let us bring our story across the table and let them see that we need this thing. We need justice.
Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you for calling. And that's how we actually started Straight Talk. One of the things, the mantra, a matter of fact, always was and still is. When you come to Straight Talk, you talk the truth, but be prepared to stand alone. Because in this country, you talk the truth and they want to kill you dead. But as long as you have the courage to stand up, like the caller, we are all human. To all is human. And as that caller just said, we need justice. Call a spade a spade. As I put it differently, talk the truth or continue to push the truth to anyone and everyone who wants to stand in the way. That is what we're going to do for 2022 and make sure that happens. Caller, you are live at 17 past 9 o'clock. Thank you for holding.
Greetings, Patrick.
Greetings, sir.
Yeah, Rash Kalonji here.
How are you, Kalonji?
Blessed love and a happy new year today. I'm good.
Same to you, my brother.
I just want to hear about all the Africans and me at home in the Federation of Liamig and Oli. And brothers and sisters listening to the diaspora, the whole global African world. As you said, this is 2022, and we have to have a new mantra for 2022. Total togetherness for African people, not only here in the Federation, but globally. You understand? You're either with African people's interests or you're against them. It's as simple as that. There's no in-between anymore. You understand? Because what we're seeing from the fascist pandemic, right? The fascist pandemic, because what is ushering into the world through the COVID-19 virus is the fascist pandemic. And we got to understand what we're dealing with when we're talking about the fascist pandemic. I'd like to introduce you to a document, National Security Council, Memorandum 46, by, I think it was the former Secretary of State, Zbigniew Brzezinski. He put out this information in 1978, talking about that they don't want to see a link between progressive African states on the continent and Africans here in the Western world. You understand? So I'm saying to our people basically that as African people, you're either for African liberation or you're against us. There's no in-between anymore. Whatever is in African people's interest, that is what we have to be dealing with. It's not a game anymore, because what we realize is that there are forces in the world that want to take African people off the planet. And for us to safeguard, you understand, our people and our children that are coming forth, when we're gone, we have to set a foundation for them so that they could be here when we're gone. You understand? This is not a joke anymore. So, Zbigniew Brzezinski, right? National Security Council, Interdependent Group for Africa. Study response to Presidential Security Review, Memorandum NSC 46, Black Africa and the U.S. Black Movement. Objective of our policy towards Black Africa is to prevent social upheavals which could radically change the political situation throughout the area. The success or failure of our policy in the region depends on the solution international and internal issues whose importance of the United States is on the increase. U.S. interest in Black Africa. A multiplicity of interests influence the U.S. attitude towards Black Africa. The most important of these interests can be summarized as follows. 1. Political. If Black African states assume attitude hostile to U.S. national interests, our policy towards the white regime, which is a key element in our relations with the Black state, may be subjected by the latter to great pressure for fundamental change. Trust. The West may face a real danger of being deprived of access to the enormous raw material resources of Southern Africa, which are vital for our defense needs, as well as losing control over the Cape, sea routes by which approximately 65% of Middle Eastern oil is supplied to Western Europe. That's just a little tidbit I read there. So I'm saying to our people, it's time to throw water on all the badness that we do to ourselves. It's time for us to get together and unite in the interest of African people. And I will leave you with this, what Marcus Garvey said. Right? Marcus Garvey said, any leadership that causes you to depend on another race is a leadership that will enslave you. And I'd just like to say, my brothers and sisters, that our brother Abijah has transitioned, a great brethren, a comrade, a Rasta man, you know, so we say condolences out to his family. Brother Abijah is Brother Ralph Green, who lived on the Democrat Road. He transitioned last Monday. So we just want to let the brothers and sisters know in the Rastafari movement and our people in general, you know, Brother Abijah funeral will be on the 27th of this month, which is a Thursday. So we just like to give condolences to his family and to the Rastafari movement. Mr. Brother, we'll meet you in Zion when our transition come to us. So one love, give thanks.
Raskulunji.
Yes.
Raskulunji.
Yes.
You had a long input, and I didn't want to interrupt you. But I wanted to clarify though.
I didn't hear what you said.
You're either with us, or you're for us, or against us. But when you look at the U.S. policy toward Black Africa, right? I mean, when you look at the living conditions of the Black population, I mean, how is that really possible?
I don't understand what you mean, the living conditions. Well, who got the conditions that way?
Those, like you mentioned, the U.S. policy, and this could take us a long time because we can go back to South Africa with the apartheid and things like that. But that's the point. Not who got it so. How can we change it? Just saying we come together and force against can't change it.
Yeah, but listen what I'm saying. We have to unify ourselves, come together, and deal with our agenda, what is in our people's interest. African liberation.
That's academic.
That is not academic. We could put it into reality.
How?
How? By the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Today is Monday. Umoja means unity. We have an agenda. The 7 principles of Kwanzaa is our guide.
Okay, my brother.
Let me ask you. I'm talking about the conditions of our people. What do you suggest?
Well, I am in concurrence with you in terms of uniting as an African people. But the reality of the situation makes that a real humongous or Himalayan task.
Well, nothing is
that
easy,
can't be done overnight.
No, it can't be done overnight. I understand that is a process. So we're saying that the struggle continues.
You know? Okay, but thanks for your input. Perhaps we'll have a discussion about that, and perhaps that would probably take a whole program to discuss some of the issues raised, which are pertinent issues, very important issues as well.
Because what I'm saying to you, it is clear from the COVID-19 pandemic. I have all the emails of Dr. Fauci. We know that he supplied the money to the institute in Wuhan for the gain of function research. We know the United States is responsible for the COVID virus, and we are not talking about it. They should be paying us reparation for mashing up our economy. That is the reality of the situation. We are fighting each other. Probably the government might mismanage it in some way, right? Because this thing is new to us. But what I'm saying to you, instead of putting so much restrictions on our people, let's come up with an idea how to deal with it. Because we have herbs right here that could deal with the virus. I have the Shashamani COVID-19 relief bush tea that could deal with COVID-19. But the system keeps telling us, oh, we have to take the vaccine. How much people are vaccinated and they're still catching the virus? So we got to look into ourselves and deal with our situation. You understand? Make an analysis and come up with some ideas how to deal with it. We can't take information from Dr. Fauci them when they are the culprits. They are the one who got the globe in the situation that it is. And our people in established position are afraid to talk about these things. So my brother,
okay, my brother.
That because what I'm saying to you, anybody who wants to challenge me in terms of what I'm saying, let them come because I have my information. And they can't refute nothing I say. You understand? Let me leave you with a little bit of this before I go. There's a book coming out on Dr. Fauci, right? And the book is written by John Kennedy Jr. As director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, Dr. Anthony Fauci dispenses $6.1 billion in annual taxpayers-provided funding for scientific research, allowing him to dictate the subject, content, and outcome of scientific health research across the globe. Fauci uses the financial clout at his disposal to wield extraordinary influences over hospitals, universities, journals, and thousands of influential doctors and scientists, whose careers and institutions he has the power to ruin, advance, or reward. I'll leave you with that, my brother.
Thank you very much for your
give
input.
Thanks, one love, and I wish everybody a happy new year. And African liberation is the only solution to all the pollution. That's what Granny.
That's what Granny said.
Yeah.
But Steve Biko said as well, and you referenced the National Security Council Memorandum 46, I think it was, and authored by the National Security Council, of course. But Granny said that, but Steve Biko also said this, and I quoted, "Sure, there are a few good whites just as much as there are a few bad blacks. However, what we are concerned here with is group attitudes and group politics. The exception does not make a lie of the rule, it merely substantiates it." That's a quotation from Steve Biko. At 9:29, let us go back to the lines. Caller, you're alive. I thank you immensely for holding a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year.
Yeah, Patrick, again. My last time.
So,
Patrick, I born in the Federation of St. Nevis. I never live out of this federation yet. I went to a couple countries, visit, and come back here, work in this country, and do what I got to do for living in my country. Patrick, I come up under different administration. I come up under the administration, the Dr. Simmons administration, the Dr. Douglas administration, and Patrick, we had talk show under the Dr. Simmons administration. People criticize, people say things. We had talk show under the Dr. Douglas administration. People criticize, people say other things. But Patrick, this administration, the Team Unity administration, where I see come in government and help out the ordinary man and woman in this country so good. I never see much criticize from the people, from ordinary helping people, even from the Calypsonians. Some of them is stifling the heart to say something to sing bad against the Team Unity government because of the performance, the performance of the ordinary people in this country. And Patrick, if I see wrong, I don't say wrong. But I cannot allow people to spread the false propaganda on the government and the country and knowing that I input in it. Because a lot of things that people spreading on the propaganda panic station, factory, not like that also. And Patrick, we know that we can have the politics. When the former administration was in there doing all kind of wrong things, people was there supporting them, backing them up, saying all kind of things. We got this in government today, we got this, that in government. We got 2 more years of this, we got 2 more years of that. So I want to check that and I want this and I want that. No bungee gun this and no bungee gun happen all kind of thing. This Team Unity government has criticized inside out from everybody. People who even get help, people who even get have Christmas. People who get a talk at Christmas. People who get a food voucher Christmas. Coming anywhere they are criticizing the government. And what? Nothing wrong with that. Is that right? Is that right? That is. I believe this government has done enough to the ordinary man and woman. Nobody said they're perfect. The government here are perfect. We see wrong things also and we speak out against it. When the right time to come and speak out against it. But for now, this government is doing the best, especially on this COVID situation, to help out the ordinary man and woman in the country. So we want to have the criticize of the business because a lot of criticizers before and none of them touch them. So let me move on with the immunity. That is again very wonderful. Let God bless.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you as well. And yes, that's what we should have. We should learn from our criticisms as well. And there's a famous quote I remember as well. It says, study the people who took you out of history, then you'll understand your history. Understand that? Study the people who took you out of history, then you'll understand your history. 933, call your life.
Yes, Brother Patches. Brother Patches, I had to call again when I hear my African brother Rascalanzi. Brother Patches, I just want you to do something for us. I'm not saying me, God, this I thing. Do work for us as African people, beloved brother. Brother, I'd like you to do 2 shows exclusively on Pan-Africanism. One, if it can be done, next Monday, as a tribute to the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and one in February, beloved brother. That's all I'm asking. If you want to invite Rascalonji and pro and cons for Pan-Africanism, beloved, that got to be done, beloved. Because, brother, my thing is, beloved, we're going to come from different directions, east, west, north, and south. But we're going to gather at a central point when it comes to Pan-Africanism. Some could come from economic, some could come from educational, some could come from spirituality, all spheres of life, beloved. But we reach one central point, and that's, we got to start spread it out, man. A revival, global revival of Pan-Africanism, my beloved brother. So, brother, if you could do us this, now I don't like to say favor, fulfill that mission, beloved brother. Next Monday, Pan-Africanism exclusively, nothing else, beloved brother. Talk on that program next Monday and sometime in February. Brother, I don't know what you think about that, you got to think about it or what?
Well, it's great food for thought. Great food for thought. Monday is Martin Luther King's birthday, right?
Yeah, Saturday, but holiday. The celebration, the day.
The holiday.
The King, they're going to be Monday, the third Monday. Always be. But I personally celebrate January 15th, beloved. The day he was born. But his Monday coming is Dr. This when they celebrate it, King Day, as they call it. So, but I'm looking forward to that, If you want to bring Rascalonji, anybody, and they call in, pro and cons, let all voice must be heard, beloved brother. Let all ideas contend. Your Pan-Africanist or whatever, call in. But brother, I don't want this show to divert from no other thing but Pan-Africanism, those 2 occasions, beloved brother. Next Monday or sometime in February.
Point taken, my dear brother. I'll see how it can be executed. Thank you. It's 23 before the 10 o'clock hour. I go back to the lines just after this email here. Patches, what is your take or response to Honorable Lindsey Grant's concern regarding the RLB tarmac condition. Did you take a look at, or are you concerned? What is your suggestion? Because I see the airport terminal is in need of a Terminal B. LaGuardia, New York, have you seen their mega expansion? Help Mr. Grant with his plea for the government to fix the airport issues. Thank you. Reads that email. Caller, you are live. I thank you for holding.
Good night, Patrick.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Same caller back. Patrick, you have the health center at St. Peter's being stopped quite a while. Quite a while, Patrick. I listened to the Prime Minister's budget address, and I never hear him talk nothing about it. And that they have been stopped.
When you say stop, what do you mean?
Health center that started at St. Peter's.
Okay.
I never hear him speak about it. You have the print tree that right in front of his eyes down at Church Street. I never hear him speak about it. Patches, these are things, we are young people. We need to know what's going on in the country. You think it's easier here? A mother get up, her child is crying. She lost her job because she haven't taken the vaccine. She don't have $1. Prostitution gonna get high. She have no way to turn. What's she gonna do? Patches, we put government to help eradicate poverty. And when we look at it, it's just the guys them just up and down sporting, book motorbikes, brand new cars, you know, money in their mouth, taking pictures, up and down, get up every day, smoke, drink, and boast and say they don't have to work, making, you know, they're just making money. Patches, we got to look at families. We got to look at families. You know, sometimes, I know you was here for the Christmas, and I know when you go around and you hear how single parent cry, I know you feel it, Patches. I know you feel it to hear some of these single parent cry. It's not a matter of that they cannot try to help themselves. But when you try to make a step forward and you know you got to get back with one step, Patches, not encouragement. You know, these are things we all have to look into, and people, you know, glad for these things to happen to, you know, that prostitution get higher in our country. Patches, we put a government there to eradicate these things. You understand? These are things we have to deal with. It's not easy. You're sitting at home and, you know, you hear your kids them crying and you don't have $1 to give them something to eat, Patches. You know, as growing up, I always hear my mom say, like, you know, knockout is not good for dogs, much less human, yeah? It's hard, Patches, it's hard. I've been around and, you know, hearing these single parents just crying. It's not a matter that they don't want to go and work, Patches. But sometimes they go out there and the pep is not, I ain't saying that the pep is not a good thing, it's a good thing. You know, but how many of them going to be on the pep? Patches, I've been around and I hearing them crying, man, hearing them crying. And it's, you know, it's hard. And, you know, the ministers just making the money and just partying and, you know, single parents just suffering. You know, these guys just getting money because, Patches, when you look at these things, bigger countries than ours try to do this thing by paying these gangsters money. And it backfire hard. Look at Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana and those places. Patches, we gotta be real. Otherwise these things we're gonna fall in turmoil in this country. I telling you, hear it from me, man. You gotta know what you're doing.
But Carlo?
Yeah.
Carlo, the peace initiative is what you're referring to, right? Am I correct? You're referring to the peace initiative?
Yes.
And I believe you would agree that at least one can point to the good things that have derived from that initiative in terms of reduction in crime, in particular homicides. We had that.
I agree with you.
I mean, years gone by.
I agree with you.
I would agree, as I've said it before, and I can say it publicly, that there's always one elephant in the room, and that is the guns. Where are the guns? but at least we are happy we can go out at nights and do things and so on. Yeah. I'm not too certain though, if all that is being propagated, all that is being said about what is happening, like somebody said tonight, she's seen a picture with money in their mouth, like smoking the money, right? But there's some benefits that have come to the country in terms of crime reduction, peace, and our safety from that initiative. Would you say that?
Yes, but Patrick, you're being in New York, yeah? And I'm telling you, if these things that I get in peace money to stop the problem, and I just get in simple money, Patrick, be realistic. You know, later I'm going to buy bigger guns, that if this money cut, I can get something to keep going on. Yeah? You know, this money, I'm going to say, yeah, yo, I got to do something. I got to put some kind of bigger gun aside in case of something. Patches, we got to be real. You travel. You got to be real. These things will happen, Patches. We got to get back in case of this money cut, we got to find a solution. You understand, Patrick?
Yes, my brother. Again, I'm sorry for that. I take your point.
Yes.
But
we got to be realistic. We just cannot watch the front line of what is going on, but we got to look at the back side of it, you know, because these things will happen, and we got to look at it, and we got to be real that these things will happen. You know, we got to.
I got your point. There's some.
Yes.
It's a work in progress, no doubt.
Exactly.
And things have to be done.
Exactly. And, you know, we got to look at the single parent, man. We got to look at them. We got to recognize them, man. It's hard, I'm telling you. I hear a lot of single parent crying, and, you know, it's hard. They don't even know what to start with for 2022, yeah? It's hard. I'm telling you, Patrick, it's hard.
Point taken, my brother.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to, you know.
For your input.
Yes. That, you know, going forward, they just hope the single parent and just hold up their head and just save every little dollar they can save. Just so, you know, look after their family and the kids and, you know, make things work until things can get better.
Okay. We also look at the deadbeat dads.
Huh?
We have to also look at the deadbeat dads and make them accountable.
Yes. But yes, Patrick, and you know, I think the Prime Minister got to look at it that some of these prisoners can come out and work and take the money and support the kids them that they leave outside too, yeah?
Okay, all right.
Yes, that can help eliminate poverty. Yeah, because a lot of kids, you know, parents just fell to prison and, you know, they just leave them on the street just like that and no support, nothing. They need to come out and work, own a little, you know, stipend that they can give to the kids then that, you know, can help eliminate some of the poverty.
Yes. Thank you, my dear brother, for your intervention.
Thanks.
Sound and how to be considered. Thanks a lot for your input. It's 14 before 10 o'clock. I was looking for that soundbite from our Lieutenant Major General, who is in St. Kitts, who steered the peace initiative. I'll see if I get that before I exit the program, but it's 14 before 10. There's a call on the line. Happy New Year, caller. Thank you for holding.
Happy New Year, Patrick. To you. How are you doing this evening?
I am peaceful, my dear brother. Yourself?
Great. I was going to sit here and just listen to the show, but I wanted to say, you know, Happy New Year to you, and just talk on a few of the things that you're listening. First of all, you're one of the smartest black men that has ever lived, in my opinion. No. You work for the United Nations. Don't listen to this book. Kalunji is a good guy, and I see his parents bring him up, and they're talking business. Don't listen to Kalunji and this other guy. A lot of these people just smoke too much marijuana with things in it, and this has messed up their head. Don't have no show with all this. The African tonight is slaughtering each other. Even the Ethiopia they want to go live in, they start killing each other like savages. Mali, all these places, they're killing each other. How are you going to think about your Pan-African, this Pan-African, that? They're just talking out of their head. Don't let these people pull you into your craziness. Let me tell you, Patrick.
But my brother.
And what? Go ahead, Patrick.
I think what was suggested, to use the words, let all ideas contest or contend. So you'll have your view.
This talking has been going on with these people for years. Do you say anything? Did you ask? Let me say something. This thing with the peace treaty is one of the best things that ever happened. But the people got to know where this money is going, okay? It can't be kept as a secret. It cannot be. But this is the greatest thing that happened. There was times I was coming to sink it. From America. With the slaughter anymore, the thing just went broke. So the man from Jamaica, I'm surprised you all haven't honored the guy as yet. Harris, and Australia, you guys have done great, but things have to be done. You say you were going to do a lot of things, and you're all not doing them. And I don't want to blame you, because you was in there, think it's a movie, you have to talk to Dr. Harris. He's a good guy, as he became man of the year, and I think he deserves it. But you all have to do, unity have to straighten out things before they leave there. Otherwise, synthesis and Nevis is finished. Synthesis is finished. Patrick, our people understand. You have to get education. You have to get it. You have to have money before you think. You have to get it. Kalunji don't work for nobody. And Kalunji and Junior Liburd is not doing good by thinking. They're hypocrite. Well, I don't want to call Kalunji a hypocrite. He means well. There's a lot of sickness going on with our people. And I want us to simple to do the guy. Green was a very nice guy. But he call the guy some Abba, I don't know, maybe someone the Western. But the Western king had destroyed Sinkage. He destroyed most of the Caribbean. Even a few little Jamaicans up in the bush after that. They said I want to go into you. The Ethiopians slaughtering each other. Like the Africans, they were coming now, the guys back to side. Look at Nigeria. Basic savages. Come on. When you going to think, go to Africa and get out the rest. You all better say, thank God for slavery. All of you. All they do is talk. Please pass it. Look what's happening to Africa. They were becoming civilized. And they're going back to the institute. And the God is to Mr. Politics. He used to do good before, but he's not doing good now. Every day time with politics, unity, okay? You got to say what is going on. And on the next year party, or the other one, you got to tell us what Blair tried to do to you. I think he tried to shock you, but it's not going to work. You're one of the most decent people. And Patrick, let me tell you, your family is not nice for now. Your family got a few doctors in there. And I mean real doctors. Your niece, your sister, okay? I took your sister up to MIT, one of the best universities in America. She went to university at 16 years old, that kid. So, but we need these people. Now, another thing, they think that woman in Barbados, she grew up in a very rich family. She didn't grow up poor like you or some of the other people, or even me. She didn't grow up. So, she want to do what she want to do. They don't care about you. Your biggest enemy is the black man. All like Junior Liburd, they're hypocrites. He's the one who got thinkers in this man. But Patrick, don't let these people get you there now. The show you have is good, and you tell it like it is, and this is the best of the most honest people you have. You. Okay, all the others, you can't trust them. Okay, you're the only good show. And that station, the panic, it caused a lot of problems. With the guy he got from America. Every day the same craziness. A lot of these people are crazy, man. They're mentally sick. That boy living in America wouldn't come to think it. I can tell you what kind of shut up. Please, Patrick. All the best to you. Keep up the good work, and may God bless you. Have a good one, Patrick.
Have a good one as well, my dear brother. Have yourself a wonderful New Year as well. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your life. Happy New Year.
hear me? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, they're talking about...
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
They're talking about the government and they're not for the government and people talking good. They want to vex it. They should have started long time, the money. They don't wait till now to talk. Vaccine, we say. Vaccine is on the way. And our way have vaccine. So why we can't say vaccine? They go about the business. They don't mean nothing and they come in and put the program, come talk, whatever talk from against the government. Let it go. See you.
Have a good night. I wanted to play this soundbite from Major General Saunders, who addressed the issue of paying for guns and paying these criminals. And here's what Major General Saunders had to say on Straight Talk.
Perhaps I should make it quite clear from the very outset that as far as this particular initiative that I am responsible for executing, so to speak, is concerned, there are no payments being made to gangs. There are no payments for guns, and there are no transactions that have not been properly costed and approved. Right, so when people receive payments, they are receiving payments for something that has been costed, approved, and verified as having been done to a satisfactory standard.
So that's coming from Major General Saunders, who is in charge of the program. I think it bears repeating. This is what he said again.
Perhaps I should make it quite clear from the very outset that as far as this particular initiative that I am responsible for executing, so to speak, is concerned, there are no payments being made to gangs. There are no payments for guns. And there are no transactions that have not been properly costed and approved. Right, so when people receive payments, they are receiving payments for something that has been costed, approved, and verified as having been done to a satisfactory standard.
So if you were to believe anyone, wouldn't you believe Major General Saunders, who is in charge of the program? He said there are no payment for gangs, no payment for guns, and whatever is being done is properly costed and approved. The caller before, the last one, our penultimate caller, said that we ought to be more transparent and tell us where the money is going, and perhaps just debunk all these rumors. It's 5 to 10, caller, you're live. I thank you for holding.
Mr. Liburd, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I see, and Happy New Year to you. I see Jack Frost has got you going your ear.
Got me what?
Jack Frost has got you going your ear, Mr. Liburd.
Oh, boy.
Mr. Liburd, we are breeding criminals in syndicates. People are graduating from white-collar crimes to violent crimes. They are now assaulting police officers and civilians. When are we going to stop that, Mr. Liburd?
You aren't straight talking, and I want to be specific. As long as you're not being libelous, we decided for 2022, right, that we will push the truth to anyone and everyone who is in the way. So I don't want to be talking in parables.
Mr. Liburd, if I stole your car and I gave you back the car, am I a thief?
If you stole, that's called restitution.
Good. Well, these two gentlemen were found guilty and they were rescued.
Who two gentlemen?
Now they have advanced to, these two ministers, they advanced now to violent crimes upon police officers. Are you there, Mr. Liburd?
I am listening to you. I'm trying to process what you're saying.
Mr. Liburd.
Because you started about stealing a car.
What I'm saying to you, I'm drawing an analogy.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to get too close to the line and touch the line. I want your show to continue. So I'm dancing around, tap dancing around.
Yeah, but
Mr. Liburd, you saw the video. I'm sure you saw the video. At the KFC.
Okay. I saw a video, I would confess. I saw a video. And
yes. Just like it was shocking and very disparaging for a man who went to a top university in America where you are. Got off lightly on a criminal act, and now he is assaulting police officers. He needs to be thrown out of cabinet and his portfolios taken away from him. Don't you think that would be a good punishment for him?
Well, I don't know if any records reflect that there's some criminal activity.
I didn't hear you, Mr. Liburd. What you said?
I said I'm not aware of any information that will confirm that there was criminal activity undertaken or committed by any member of cabinet.
Oh, he's out of cabinet now then? You got him out of cabinet so quickly? That is good.
May I answer the question? You mentioned criminal activity.
I said he assaulted, the video I saw showed that he assaulted the police and damaged their camera with his hand.
Oh,
Mr. Liburd, you're holding back. You're afraid because you're a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, but
you're holding back.
But you said assault. Was it verbal assault? You said you talk about criminal activities. I had to be clear.
He hasn't, Mr. Liburd. He's graduated from white-collar crime to violent crime now.
Okay, you said it already. What's the point? Make your final point.
The final point I'm saying is, when they allege that you walked through this line
Security.
unchecked at the airport when you were in charge of it,
yes,
everybody wanted to lynch you. Now everybody is quiet. Now they're seeing what this man did. That's all I'm saying. You remember that?
Of course I remember that.
Exactly. So what are you holding back from? I thought you said this year is going to be a year. We'll let the truth be the truth.
But you're not talking the truth. You're dancing. You said you're dancing around the line. You said you don't want to touch the line. What line?
Mr. Liburd, what you want me to say? Lead me what you want me to say, Mr. Liburd.
No, I can't speak for you. You sound like a grown man. And I think I recognize his voice, and it's not the first time you're calling this show. But I want to say, when you're calling this show, please don't talk parables. Thanks for your input, nonetheless, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. That caller, as he said, didn't want to touch the line, whatever line he's referring to, an imaginary line. But like I said, we're going to confront you with the truth. If you're standing away, give the truth. I'll take perhaps my two final calls, if you can use 30 seconds for each one. Caller, you're live. Can you use 30 seconds? Caller? If you can use 30 seconds, proceed.
Yeah.
Yes, caller.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, you're live.
Megan. The caller talk about sing the mother, sing the parents, suffering. I want to know if you live in
You'll be exhausted, you calls it.
Because I never, what is it?
Yeah, I told you you exhausted your
I know that
cause.
when the 2015 when the unity government get in, the Prime Minister and his cabinet give the $500 to the less fortunate to working on $3,000 a month because of the liberation program. So I want to let the Parliament think it. Because this $500 will help if they get in $2,000, that's $500 $2,000 something a month. That's $500 to help them pay the bill, the electricity bill and everything. So I want to know that what single mother suffering. That is in a pandemic. And this is everybody's problem. This is not a government problem. This is everybody globally problem. You understand? And everybody got to face that government can do everything. I don't care what people say about it. I don't care what people say. I live in this country, and I got to defend this country by any means. And especially if I see a government in here doing good, I got to respect it and say what I got to say. I don't care what that. Because I know me head good. I don't work hard in this country. I touch sugar cane. I work in the construction. I work all over. I never work nowhere else in this world but sing it, Nevis. That is a wonderful night. God bless you and keep you again.
Have yourself a wonderful night. I'll take my final call. Caller, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Call your live. Yes, caller? Hello, caller? I'll take this, make this my final call. Call you live. Yes, caller?
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Okay. Patrick, a happy, blessed New Year. To you and the UDC. Patrick, I want you to make one thing for the New Year. Please. You say you're doing dealing with the facts and what's not. And for the New Year, I beg you please to get a show for the special agent that calling in. They know what's going on. Walking on the road, listening what people say, and then coming on the radio and banging them out. And they ain't know what's going on. They ain't have nothing for themselves. They're just taking what people say and they're coming and happy with it. So for this 2022, please see if you find a show for the special agent who walking on the road, listening what people say, and then coming on the radio with it, and they ain't have no thing for themselves. Please grant me that favor. You have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night, my dear. Happy New Year to you. That's the way we gotta end it tonight, because I'm afraid I'm out of time. My time is done, and I've got to run. I've had two special requests. One, to have a show exclusively for Pan-Africanism. And the last one, to have a show for the special ed people. I always consider your requests because you are the ones who make straight talk, and I have to be guided. One of the things, though, like I said just before I wrapped up my penultimate call with you, is that we're going to focus more. We've always focused, but we're going to be stickle for the truth. We're going to not tolerate propaganda, and you don't need to repeat yourself over and over again when you're talking. We will continue to push the truth to anyone and everyone who is in the way of the truth. Lots of issues have been raised tonight about ministerial misbehavior. I have not addressed it because I have not grasped issues from the soundbite or the short short snippet of a video that I saw. I myself can say I understand how that goes. But they did something similar to me. I'm not saying, but take about that. I want to say similar. They did something to me as well with a video, purporting to the fact that I, the minister responsible then for Casper, I'm the one who actually I am TSA trained, believe it or not, one of the first or second cohorts after 9/11. And I know what security is. And they will peddle all sorts of nonsense about patches of violate security, whatever they said, nonsense. When I had my pass, my ID on my chest, properly displayed, and they will continue the nonsense, but they got no place. But that's history. I shouldn't even be talking about it to give it any credence. What happened, what is being referred to as criminal, somebody referred to tonight, I don't know what is being referred to as criminal. And I say, if it's the police involved, the police must do their work. There's some things I know that one day I will talk about it, but not the right time now. But for tonight, I want to thank you. I want to, in closing, again, extend condolences to all those who have lost loved ones. As we embark upon the new year, I wish you all a happy, prosperous, and healthy new year. And I place emphasis on the latter, healthy, because what's happening around the world, and inclusive of St. Kitts, we don't seem to understand that we have to take care of ourselves. The world we are living in is still confronted with a faceless, invisible virus. We are not all in the fight because we have deep political divisions. How can we unite as Kittitians and divisions? Something. If you want to unite Kittitians and divisions, we have to talk a certain way and not talk the truth. That is nonsense. The coronavirus-induced pandemic is something we have not seen over 100 years. There's no template to deal with it. And we must agree, whether we like it or not, that Team Unity has managed this war well. Some promoted vaccine hesitancy. Some injected political issues in a pure health-related matter. But my family, in closing, I believe that we all must commend our own local doctors. We've heard about the science. We've heard about Dr. Fauci even tonight, and we've had our views. But Dr. Walensky of the CDC has also been criticized. So too, Dr. Ghebreyesus, I think his name, of the World Health Organization. We've heard from Dr. Etienne of the Pan American Health Organization. But we must really lift up high our own Dr. Hazel Laws, our Chief Medical Officer, and her right-hand, I call him, the Medical Chief of Staff, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson. They have done well. The NUOC has done well. Let us support them. Let us unite as a people. Unite as Kittitians and divisions, because there's lots of more work to be done. So I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. And as always, I want to thank you, those who called, those who listened, and those who sent emails. For those on social media, Facebook, YouTube, share the feed. Share the feed for Thursday so that everyone can partake. Those who call for the first time, I thank you and trust and hope it would not be the last time. But I've listened to you. I've listened to everything you said. And we will ensure for 2022, we will call a spade a spade. I like that caller. I'm going to end with it. We will ensure there's justice. And like I said, we will call a spade a spade. That's the way I'm going to end it. I want to thank all of you, our callers, our listeners, our Facebook and YouTube, our social media massive, I should say. You are the ones who make Straight Talk. It would not be possible without our technocrat in the studio there, Albert Bradley. Of course, in the back room, John James and Bevan Wilkinson. They all make Straight Talk. And for that, I say a big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd and God's Spear. We will connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until such time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you've got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday.